Hey, it's another great day. It's a Monday. What's up, everybody? Let's see how many people are tuning in right now. All right. Stats or things that are motivating me for the week. I'm going to make this one really short today because, first of all, it's Monday, but and I know everybody wants to get to work. And also, I have my challenge coming up, and you can I'll second poor connection. Make sure everybody can hear me. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody got me? All right, what's up? All right, cool. So, according to a report released by the census in May, e-commerce increased 14.8% from Q1 of 2019 to Q1 of 2020. So let's see, Q1. Let's think about that, all right? So Q1 of 19, Q1 of 2020, that means that what do we have? January, February, March would be Q1. And that means that COVID really didn't start affecting the increase on e-commerce until probably about, right, in the March, early April. So a lot of people say, well, why did you jump from that point because of COVID? But no, that's Q1, right? January, February, March. Okay. April. All right. What does that mean to you? Right? I want to make sure everybody can see me. Everybody can see me. Am I having any connectivity issues? Everybody just give me a thumbs up if you can. All right, you got me, right? Okay. So there's a 14 or 15% increase in e-commerce. Think about where business is going. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, Damon, that's obvious, right? But it's not obvious. I've talked to people over the course of my career, and I was telling them that e-commerce is the way to do business. And I remember talking to the big stores, the J.C. Penneys, the Macy's of the world, and the Sears of the world, and they would say, well, it's only a small percentage, and that's a lot of people still shopping in the stores, and they didn't realize at the time that a lot of people were shopping in the stores due to the fact that they had a good credit card program. Of course, you know that you went to all those stores and they gave you 20% to sign up and various other things. And a lot of that was an older generation wanting to take advantage of the discounts and or the membership due to credit card, because JCPenney's was obviously aligned with financial institutions to give you a credit card, and then you can pay it off later. And you can purchase goods and pay it off later. And that made you more of a loyal customer in person, but it didn't necessarily mean that you weren't purchasing online. And a lot of people don't believe that online is going to either stay here, believe it or not, and they can't benefit off of it. But if you think about the data, how many times do you purchase online or people around you purchase online? Now, that's 15% from Q1 of 2019 to Q1 of 2020. Think about it now after COVID and how you want to sit there and buy things. And you know what I always say, the only thing that you can save people or sell people is time. By the time that a colleague of mine or somebody would go get in the car and drive to some place and find a parking spot and go in and risk themselves and the other workers in the store from the COVID situation, I could bought every single thing that I wanted online before they got out of the driveway. All right. Also, your customer, who is your customer? I know a lot of retailers right now, meaning people who are in high touch businesses such as restaurants and spas and things of that nature, who they had a lot of people that were walking by and foot traffic, but now their customers down the block and they can't get a hold of their customer because they don't know who their customer is and how to get a hold of them, because they never knew their data, because they never found a way to incentivize them to not only shop in the store, but to also go online. So these are the things that you need to just keep understanding. And I know that this is falling on some deaf ears, but I know that a lot of people are like, duh, Damon, We're not stupid. We get it. We know what you're talking about, of course. But believe it or not, there are a lot of people that are not concentrating on that. And what they're doing is they're sitting there floundering, or when they're opening up a business, they are not thinking about those aspects of it. When some people on the flip side are only opening up their businesses online, and they're finding ways to really improve their business. Because the best aspect of having an online store is you get to know who your customer is. You get to know where they are, where they live, what's their age, what's their buying habits. Also, I remember a study that showed that when there was makeup counters and they decided to put an iPad on the makeup counter along with the assistant, and against somebody who did not have an iPad on the makeup counter. And when people would go to the makeup counter and talk to a makeup artist, they found that when there was an iPad there, that their sales would increase twofold. Why? Well, because when they were talking to the person who was giving them the information, or maybe, putting on their makeup, and let's say for whatever reason, that salesperson suggested something else. Well, human nature is, oh, you're trying to sell me something. Or, you know what? I don't like the way you look. Or, you know what? You remind me of somebody that I didn't like. You ignored me when I first came to the counter. You're too pushy. And so what happened is they found that when somebody would go to the iPad, when the salesperson would say, I really don't know much about that stuff, but in the iPad right there shows you the things that work best for you, the same way that when you go on, you buy something on Amazon, you see other frequently bought things, or you buy a song on Apple Music, it says songs like this. Well, what happened was they would program the iPad to say, well, if you purchase this makeup, or this is your color skin, or this was the eyeshadow you use, this would naturally work for you. And the people somehow had more trust in the iPad and the computer than they had with the salesperson, because they took the human aspect out of it. That iPad is still programmed by a human being, right? But that person, for some reason or another, didn't feel like they were being sold something. It's really fascinating information. So a lot of times you need to know that if you have an e-commerce component to your business, no matter what your business is, you're able to get more information. You're also able to upsell a current customer. Remember, there is only 3 ways to ever deal with a customer. I'm going to keep saying it. Upsell a current one, make one buy more frequently, or acquire a new one. And that is the only 3 ways that you will ever deal with a customer. So really start to understand about your online presence and how to increase your online presence and get the data from it. All right, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep this short. As I said, I got this challenge. If you're not doing that online and you know somebody else who is or isn't doing it, give that information to them, make them a little bit stronger this week. I'm going to bring on Am I back now? Am I back? I took the Wi-Fi off. Let's see. Am I back? Can you hear me? Kapoor, I think it's Kapoor underscore SAAB 1909. Alicia, I'm excited for the challenge too. All right, let's see. I'm waiting on Kapoor. Ooh, I hate these odd moments when we're just sitting here looking. All right, Timeless. You know what? I can't. Report's not coming on. Let's see. I think I saw somebody else called Timeless World was on there. I mean, Karma by somebody is. Let's see. I'm trying somebody else now. Hi.
How are you? I'm actually at work. You have reached the I really think you would pick up.
All right. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Are you at work?
Thank you. I am. I work at a high school, believe it or not, in Florida, but I'm originally from New York. I'm a fashion designer. You actually took me up on a quick meeting because I kept harassing you when you were with Fubu.
Uh-huh.
And so I've always been a fan because you were modest enough to give me some really encouraging words when I was so young.
Oh,
So,
very good. Well, thank you
yes.
so much. And how many years ago was that?
Oh my, that was 20 years ago.
20 years ago. All right. Well,
I was in
cool.
my 20s. I'm
Uh,
45. Yeah.
Oh, well, you
Why?
don't look 45. Congratulations on that. So, what are you doing at the school right now, and how are you prepping for the, what's going on out there? Because I'm sure a
Oh,
lot of
it's
people watching
crazy.
have kids. Yeah.
Crazy. Right now, we're just getting numbers on parents and their choices coming back to school versus digital learning. So that's what we're doing now. And that's what I kind of run the front office here, and work with the youth. I love working with the youth, but my passion and my background has always been fashion. So I do have my own company that I established 3 years ago. Really kind of just, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. The clock is ticking. And in between teaching a little bit of the youth and doing that aspect of it, I'm just trying to grow my business. So trying to stay in tune and, obviously with all your knowledge, see what you have to offer and
Okay,
keep it
so
moving.
why don't you ask me a question about that, and then I'm going to ask you some questions about obviously the education and and what you're seeing out there for all our parents who are watching right now, because I'm a parent as well, about
Yes.
about the COVID. So let me know what's going on with you. What question do you have?
Oh my God, I have so many. You caught me off guard. Right now, I'm actually trying to the sourcing aspect of it. I do it all from point A to point B when it comes to construction and everything. And so I'm just trying to really um, hone down on production so that, I'm being more of the creative mind and then have other individuals do for me. So I'm kind of gearing towards the West Coast, maybe New York. I lost all contacts when it comes to that because I've been down here in Florida for the past 15 years. So it's just crazy. I'm kind of like at a standstill at this point. I have plans for the rest of the year just to kind of keep it moving um, with New York and traveling. But with COVID hitting,
Right. So
I'm
what is the question about the fact about production or sourcing?
any suggestions on where to start or who to look into, or do you have any that you uh, would recommend?
So it all depends on what type of garments are you talking about?
So it's a variety, but ready to wear. Um, but really, I kind of do anything from a little bit of a streetwear with a little class to it. So red carpet also. So I
So
like
you're
to mix
talking
it.
you're talking more individual pieces, correct? Or
Minimal.
small lots,
Correct.
small lots.
Correct.
It's very hard to get that. I mean, obviously, you're going to have to pay a premium on that type of production, right? So, California is really good, Texas is really good, but actually Florida is really good as well. I mean, it has a huge Caribbean community
Miami.
of people who obviously understand how a lot of them have been tailors and know how to sew. But I think right now the advantage you can have is there's a lot of cottage industries. There's a lot of one individual moms and pops who are just home right now. And if I was you, I'd probably go on some of those, some sites where you can find people to do them at home. If you're making 12 or less, or, maybe even 20 pieces. You
Right.
can also do cottage industry where you can find certain people who are going to cut cut the pieces, and then you take
Correct.
them over to one other place and get them to assemble them. But I would do cottage industry. There are a lot of people right now looking for work, and that's the best
Okay.
way to do it. And then once you get to understand your pieces, because it sounds like you're a little all over the place, which is fine because right now you're trying to get your groove, and you say, hey, I'm doing more runway pieces and I'm getting better known for that, or I'm doing more of this. But once you get your groove, then you can understand, as we hopefully get out of this thing, that you can start to say, okay, I know that now I can move 50 pieces a week or 50 pieces a month, and you can start negotiating better prices and or getting better work done. That's the best way to do it.
Sounds good. Awesome.
All right.
What
So
questions do you have for me as a
I
parent?
have, I have. So when you're looking at the school enrollment, and I know every parent is calling you, everybody's trying to find out what's the percentage of people that are going to be physically sending their kids to school against trying to do virtual learning?
So right now, that's actually what we're working on last week and this week as well. And to my surprise, I'm getting a little over 50% face to face, which I expected the opposite. I've been personally getting a lot of the calls choosing the digital learning from home.
Hmm.
But because we're giving the option to switch back within the school year, once they start feeling a little more secure with having the students come in, or stay home, they're kind of choosing to have them try. But that is simply because we're a specialized school. This is an arts school. So you
Okay.
have to audition, you have to be accepted to attend. So for that, I think it's more with this specific school because of the arts and they want them to be hands-on. Obviously, chorus or if they're in band or visual arts, it's more hands-on. So I think with our school is a little unique in that way.
Yeah, so I get it. So your school is specialized, and it's obviously a privilege or an honor to be able to attend the school, and they want to get the most out of it. But on the flip side, do you find that a lot of the times, or what's the portion of people who are saying, unfortunately, I don't have anybody to watch my kids during the day. I
Correct.
have to go to work, and I don't want my kid running around in the streets getting in trouble, so I'm going to, against my better judgment, I'm going to make sure that my kid has to go to school, even if they may bring home potentially
Right.
something that may endanger myself or my parents or whoever.
I think unfortunately there are too many cases like that where they're not 100% sure or feeling that security, but they're feeling like they don't really have an option because they need to go to work, you know?
Are you giving teachers, or teachers having the option to say, I have underlying issues, or I'm very concerned about things, and I love my kids, but maybe I just need to do the virtual stuff instead. I can't come in. I just don't want to come in.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, how are you dealing with that?
So we are having meetings with them, virtual meetings at this time because I don't know that I don't recall New York or upstate being that way, but we open all year round um, in the office. So we're communicating with them through virtually through meetings that way and just kind of getting a consensus, but nothing's really set in stone. The first thing was to get these numbers and this percentage to see what is going to be the student body. Once we get that down, then we can implement certain plans and see how we're going to move forward. So definitely giving the teachers that opportunity to really say. A lot of the teachers are retiring. There's a lot going on. So it's just kind of like a little bit of a matter of time, playing it by ear.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for educating my family, and thank you
Thank
for
you.
what you're doing, especially in the education space. I think that the most underappreciated commodity in this country are veterans and teachers. So I really do appreciate what you're doing, and thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Always
All right.
have.
All
Let's stay
right. Thank
in
you so
touch.
much. All right.
Thanks.
Bye. All right. There you go. Hopefully we can learn from that, and hopefully everybody is going to have themselves a beautiful week. I'm going to make sure that I see everybody on the challenge coming up in only a half an hour, And what is the site that I always want everybody to go to? If you want to, sign up for it, go to launchgrowscale.com. I think it's even on my Instagram. It's in my description or whatever the case is. And so remember, here's my challenge of the week for you before we even get to the other challenges. Just really try to understand more and more and more about your online, representation. Of course, listen, you can see or speak to me on any platform from Shark Tank to Facebook to here. But I still even have a store myself, because a lot of times I realize that right now, or everybody right now following me and talking to me right now, I can't capture your name or capture any information on you. I definitely would not want you all to plug it in right there so that you get some people that maybe you don't desire hitting you up. But how do I capture that so that I could communicate with you through my newsletters or through anything else? Is because you go to daymondjohn.com, and you can always email me at damon@daymondjohn.com. And that's how I'm able to stay closer with my audience. And who are we talking to the other day that said, listen, you need to even start getting phone numbers, because then you can hit people directly on their devices if they request you to do so. So the more information that you get on your customer, the more you can provide and service them, as well as the more that they can complain about the stuff that you aren't doing right. Because remember, that's still an investment. And the best way to improve your product is to listen to the critical ways that people are breaking down what services you're not providing. Don't get mad at them. That's still an investment, because guess what? They don't have to tell you anything. They just go about their business and never tell you something. So good feedback, good or bad, is helpful to you as long as you're willing to address it. All right, everybody. So make sure you go out there and you put all your stuff out there, and you talk to people about, getting their information and over providing for them. And I'll see you all a little bit in another half an hour on the challenge. And I will see you tomorrow when let me see, who am I interviewing tomorrow on my Power Shift Your Week? I'm bringing on Alfred Edmond Jr. He's absolutely a massive motivational speaker. And I'm going to bring on somebody else as well. All right, everybody. Later.